All right. Well, I've raked Ubisoft under the coals for a long time because it's a company that has pretty decent games in the history, but somehow decided to just absolutely fuck themselves. And it's hilarious that Ubisoft is such a coping game company because they've absolutely lost their fucking minds and marbles to wokeness. Now let's look at the lineup here we have on the main page and just the abhorrent state of AAA gaming in modern era. Assassin's Creed Shadows, fucking hate it, garbage. Star Wars Outlaws, fucking garbage, hate it. Mirage, boring, couldn't be bothered. Rainbow Six Siege, never got into it, but decent. Skull and Bones, garbage, fucking hated it. You know, they're trying, they can't even give this stuff. And then we go back to some of the games I love, like Breakpoint and the older Far Cries. But, you know, you have things like this going in the news. It's like, look at the numbers of the things. Oh, they went up in a month. How did Ubisoft go? Look at the metrics though that they're going. They went up a point. They went up like point two or point 47 in their times, and that's counted as one. Look at the 1 month thing, down 20%. You know, year to date, down 26%, minus 51%. 86 is like, it's like they're still arguing about Assassin's Creed Shadows and whether or not it was successful. All this like talk of Steam numbers and that means very little when there's just an absolute losses like this. But you also get news like this that has recently come out um, in how look at this the gamer. Let's not lie to ourselves. Ubisoft's new subsidiary leadership is nepotism, and we all know it. Ubisoft hasn't been doing great financially over the last few years. That's impossible. That's impossible. People told me that Assassin's Creed Shadows was a success. People told me that it sold millions of copies and it's more popular on the PS4. How is it possible that Ubisoft is doing isn't doing well financially? Ubisoft has decided to create their own subsidiary dedicated to Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six, backed by company Tencent. I think Rainbow Six got really popular, but then kind of, I don't know. It's just like a generic shooter-y type game. Big question of who will head this sub-series. Finally, an answer. Christophe Derennes, one of the new Derennes, the co-CEOs for Ubisoft over the 35 years of the flagship Montreal studio. Montreal idiotic Canadians who want to inject woke propaganda into it. Fucking the bane of the gaming industry. Idiot Canadians coming from an idiot Canadian myself who's definitely not woke. But it's funny things like this because look at this. Like the guy's kid becomes the fucking there's like wouldn't it be a nice into the gaming industry to just have a we're getting to that stage now. It's like a father who is like a mega CEO, and it's like, here, kid. Now you can lead the biggest company in gaming further into the ground. So yeah, I mean, like, this isn't gonna help Ubisoft at all, unless the CEO kid is like just some fucking absolute Trump supporting and says like we gotta gut all the fucking wokeness. Like this is screwing us over. Let's just get rid of all of it. That might do some good to them, honestly. But I mean, Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed Shadows is like it's pretty obvious if they made they didn't use Yasuke and they made it like just a regular Japanese dude, it probably would have sold like 10 million copies. 50 million, 15 million copies. And Skull and Bones, like I've said in many times in the past, the person who decided there shouldn't be swashbuckling and on foot combat deserves to be fired and blacklisted from the gaming industry forever. Now, aren't they adding that? So I mean, there's glimmers of potential hope because Ubisoft has great technology. So I don't. I'd hope that they turned it all around because I'd like to one day play Ubisoft games that weren't fucking garbage. Woke, stupid propaganda fucking machines. Skull and Bones, ground combat. I'm excited for it. Black Flag's pistol and cutlass were fun. Ubisoft will finally allow players to action. A little sword fight and even draw firearms against others. When does that come out? New combat style is set to be integrated into Year 2's third season. Larger content updated. Officer ships. Okay, so this is May 8th. Not yet, but soon. Land combat. I believe season ship schooner, the third season. Like, it's too late. Like, I mean, it's just too late. Skull, Bones, Steam, DB. You know, like, really, Ubisoft. Like, really. 1,500 people in it in game. Let's see the numbers here. You have a group of people who have essentially only it has showed spikes. It is lower for long. Look at the numbers there. So maybe there is some hope about the ship combat, but it's not going to be enough to save it. Yeah, you almost gotta wonder if some of this stuff is botted because, like, how does it just immediately go bloop? Look at the numbers. Jesus, look at the numbers. That goes up to hundreds, and it goes down, and it goes up, and it goes down. It's miraculous that the day we checked this, it actually increased. So when does this update come out? April 25. What is this spike for? You know, really? This last month. They must have just released it. Ground combat release date. When is Frigate Land Cape goes? July 15th. Frigate in season 1. Land combat season 3 later this year. But like, really? You're trying to get a live service game off the ground, and these are the numbers? You know, like, this is gonna have to be multitudes higher. Not many people are coming back to it, which is crazy because, like, for a month, it's kind of gone up. Maybe, and this has been announced for a long time. So what is causing this spike? Maybe there's just no fucking pirate games out there. But yeah, I mean, Skull and Bones absolutely dead in the water. And it's really weird that they have to keep working on this failed project, isn't it? Almost like they don't even care about money. Ubisoft claims microtransactions. Don't worry about me. Nepo baby. I don't see any news about Skull and Bones, so it's very weird that this suddenly got a boost. 2,600, 11 months ago. So yeah, I mean, it's close to its peak, which was abysmal. Like, the worst. It would be bad even if it was 20,000, and it's never going to even get close to that. So you've got those same numbers, that usually are from coping games that are like 1,500 and like 4,000. It's just like it never gets to a point where it's very likable. It's really weird how it they're trying to make something that nobody cares about is the ultimate thing. But Ubisoft is such a stupid company, and they've fucked so much up that it's like, what's left for it? They come out with a new Assassin's Creed game. What the fuck is that gonna be about? You can only wonder what's occurring at the Ubisoft factories right now of what they might make. God, I can only imagine. Can only imagine what they get up to in the Ubisoft factories. The ultimate victory, chud victory for us would be Ubisoft just like goes under. Because then all that talent and all that technology can be repurposed into something new. Like we saw with Clair Obscur, like we've seen with other companies. It's like the people that are good at making the game, like the systems and the technology, get away from all these activists and all these people who fuck this shit up. Hopefully that's the future for Ubisoft. Oh my god, look at this. Ubisoft comments on why Star Wars Outlaws. That's impossible. Everybody was telling me how Star Wars Outlaws was such a massive success, and everybody loved it. Ubisoft has commented on the reasons it believes 2024 Star Wars Outlaws was proved to be a financial flop. It failed to meet sales expectations for the company. Could it have something to do with the absolutely ugly and absurd feminist character? Maybe. Could it do with the bugs and half-assedness of the whole experience? Maybe. Financial failures was part reason that Ubisoft reported big losses in its recent financial part, but it wasn't the only company. Undoubtedly expected better returns from it, which is based on bigger IP at the top. So what is? I can only imagine what they thought was that. I mean, Star Wars. This should have been a slam fucking dunk for them. How did they fuck that up so badly? I don't never know. And every time I look at this, I just look at an Ubisoft game with a like skin. Every time I looked at this looks like just like Rainbow Six Star Wars Edition or something. It's just like it has that sheen of Ubisoft of shit. There's a slight coating of shit on it. It's like it's like a game taken rolling around in shit, and then like this is the game, this is the shit. You roll the game around in shit. You got an Ubisoft game. Although its initial sales weren't great, it seems Ubisoft hasn't given up on it. So that's the thing, is that they just don't give up on this stuff. They gotta just give up. Give up on Skull and Bones, give up on Assassin's Creed Shadows, give up on Star Wars. Cut it loose, start new. Don't don't try and make something happen that the game is releasing in 2025 on the Switch. There's gonna be like 15 people that buy that. Imagine how Ubisoft games are gonna run on the Switch too. And fucking smoke will start coming out of your Switch too. You'll be like smoke will come out. You're like, what the fuck? Can you imagine a fucking Switch 2 game playing in Ubisoft? Freaking updates. Can you imagine the people just having to under contract, getting paid every week or every month to work on a game that people hated? The amount of money these fuckers waste. Insanity. Ubisoft quietly confirms it's working on a new Ghost Recon game. Yes, make a new Wildlands. Imagine how amazing it would be if it was like Ghost Recon Wildlands, a game I love, I think is amazing. but Star Wars. Like they could have made that. They didn't. They made a feminist fucking stupid adventure. So I mean, there's glimmers of hope in Ubisoft's future for me, but it's not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough, and I don't have any faith in this new CEO fucking idiot. Heavily rumored for a while now. Just make something like Breakpoint, make something like Wildlands, open world co-op-y shitfest. That's where Ubisoft strives at. Games like Odyssey for single player and multiplayer, Ghost Recon games are amazing. That's the thing. There's idiots in charge at Ubisoft, and I don't have any fucking faith in them at all. Unionize. Ubisoft stock slips on new leadership changes. Well, you know what? Here's the thing: is that the stock doesn't ever improve. Stock has been slipping for 5 fucking years. Look at that. Can you imagine how much money and people lost their jobs along the way there? The heights of Odyssey, one of my favorite games. Oh god. Ubisoft just cancerous. Ooh, this is a good one. So they stopped they of course the famous gamers need to get comfortable with not owning their games. Sue them to a fucking oblivion. For that statement alone, they should get sued. Ubisoft, they'd like to play this dangerous game of being like, like we'll just take away people's licenses, like, and then they just don't care about. They don't care about the art of gaming. They only care about this like stupid corporate world that they live in. Obviously, support for all games cannot last forever. Oh my god. Oh my god, Ubisoft. It hurts. It hurts. Gamers have to get used to not owning their games. And Ubisoft games for me is like I love modding games. I love changing games up. I love being able to get under the hood of games. Ubisoft games for me, I just don't even fucking bother with. It's like they're just so obviously against any kind of player welfare. You know what I mean? Game preservation movement was motivated to shut down open world racer The Crew, something they should have been taken to court for. If you know what happened with The Crew, they should have for sure been sued over that. They just literally could have made a single player build in an afternoon, and they decided not to. Those bastards. We operate in a market. No, it does. And whenever we release a game, we provide a lot of support for that game. That's the thing that they have to get away from, is that you're not providing a service. You're providing a fucking entertainment piece. I want a game to be able to play 20 years from now, with my kids. Yeah, like that would be a good thing, wouldn't that? Like that should be something everybody should strive for, and anybody who cares about games should like. But these idiots, this asshole, use Guillemot. We also provide a lot of services that make the game accessible and remains playable 24/7. You know what should be playable forever? The lifespan of a piece of software, whenever there's a service component, eventually the services may be discontinued because eventually the software may become obsolete. You know what? Games don't become obsolete. They're amazing forever. The end. Yeah, Ubisoft's kind of a piece of shit. They kind of always will be. Peace.